outstanding are here today.
Game winning drive. When I score, I go for two. I don't believe in overtime. Put your hands up in the sky.
Jacksonville took a small bite out of Quad City's Eastern Conference lead last week by stalling out the Steamwheelers in Florida. Iowa faced its first Western Conference opponent and came up a few hands short at Vegas. Tonight, the Barnstormers hope to add some chaos to the playoff race with 5 weeks remaining. Indoor football is next on MC 22. Tonight at Wells Fargo Arena, the Barnstormers look for their first victory since April against one of the hottest teams in the IFL in the Jacksonville Sharks. Larry Morgan and Jeremy Gloston with you. And Jeremy, let's first of all talk about Jacksonville. They're 8-4, won 2 of their last 3 against 2 of the better teams in the league in Arizona and in Quad City.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough matchup for the Barnstormers tonight, man, because they have dynamic players. Although they've changed up their roster so much since the last time they met, they're still able to find ways to put a win together. And so the Barnstormers are going to have to come in and ready to play tonight.
Iowa with a 1-10 record, but Coach Dave Mogeson told us earlier this week he doesn't think they're really as bad as that record might indicate.
And they're definitely not. They keep the games close. They just have to find ways to be able to sustain drives on the back end for the defensive backs. They have to find ways to get incompletions. They're letting up too many passes. And so I know they've made a couple of changes to their defensive backfield. So hopefully that helps out for tonight.
Let's spotlight the 2 quarterbacks tonight, and they're very different because the starting quarterback for Jacksonville leads the league in rushing. The starting quarterback for the Barnstormers leads the league in passing. First of all, let's talk about the Jacksonville quarterback, Tyler Huff.
Man, Tyler Huff, 6 yards per run. Man, he's an absolutely dynamic player. And so when it comes to defending a quarterback, usually you got to worry about his arm, but with him, you got to worry about his legs. So for the defensive ends, they're going to have to be able to contain him. And for the linebacker, he's going to have to be able to step up and mirror his movements to try to keep him in that pocket and give his defensive backs the opportunity.
Quite a contrast because the Iowa quarterback doesn't have a running back to rely on, let alone run the ball much himself. James Cahoon leads the league in passing, and he does have a strong arm.
Man, absolutely a strong arm. And then his passing efficiency is absolutely amazing, #1 in the league. And I love the way he plays. He looks downfield. He always has his eyes downfield, even with pressure in his face, and he's willing to step in even when he's about to get hit. The only thing I would tell him tonight, though, is that he's going to have to find a way to get out of the pocket and sometimes create more opportunities with his legs.
You could make an argument that the pressure tonight's on Jacksonville. They're right in the playoff picture. Barnstormers have that spoiler role.
And you gotta love when that chip is on your shoulder, because now you got an opportunity just to go hard and give it everything you got. You have nothing to lose. So for the Barnstormers, their biggest thing tonight is making sure that they staying steady and making sure they play a full 60 minutes. They haven't played a full 60 minutes yet this season. And so if they can put everything together, I think they can come out with a win tonight.
First time they played, as he mentioned a moment ago, a Jacksonville victory, 33-22, but the Jacksonville roster has really almost totally flipped over. Should be an interesting game tonight as we look forward to bringing it your way from Wells Fargo Arena. And we'll be back with the opening on MC22 right after this.
Get ready. MediaCom is now.
Mobile?
Well, not just mobile, but a 5G mobile network with reliability you can count on.
Really?
Just check out this map. Coast-to-coast coverage, plus hundreds of free extreme hotspots. It's an unbeatable network, and we've got some unbeatable prices, too.
But I love this phone.
Easy. Keep your phone when you switch. And guess what? You'll love it even more. MediaCom Mobile. Learn more today.
Welcome back to Wells Fargo Arena. Actually, you don't get to call it Wells Fargo Arena after tonight. It'll become the Casey's Center after July 1st, but this is the last game in Wells Fargo Arena, even though the facility remains the same. Jacksonville leads the series 2-0. As you see, they met earlier this season, May the 3rd, with a Jacksonville victory. However, since then, Jacksonville really has flipped their roster. Different quarterback, and really everybody different, except the head coach, Jason Gibson. He's in his third year. First year in the IFL in 2023, they won the league championship. This is a guy who in 22 previous seasons has led his team to the playoffs 21 times. So he's had great success, 25-18, his record at Jacksonville. Dave Mogensen in his fourth year on the bench for the Iowa Barnstormers, assisted by Donald Burrell, Peyton Hayes, and DC Kropp. Jacksonville won the toss. They deferred. The Barnstormers will get the ball first. And dropping back is Keon Williams, who's averaged 16.4 yards per kickoff return and has had 3 kickoffs returned for touchdowns this season. The kicker, Dylan Barnes, puts his foot into it and kicks it into the stands, and so the Barnstormers will start at the 20-yard line. James Cahoon, the Iowa quarterback, and you saw his numbers prior to the game. He's thrown for almost 1,800 yards, and this is only his 9th game, so he's averaging, Jeremy, more than 200 yards passing per game.
Man, and James Cahoon, this is their backbone to their team here. He has dynamic receivers, and the only way that they can be dynamic is if Cahoon can get them the ball, and he makes sure that he gets it to them.
It was very early in the season that he faced Jacksonville and threw 4 interceptions. Since then, he has really cut down on the number of interceptions. Back to throw on first down, complete the pass in the flat, and the Barnstormers have the gain of a couple of yards on the first play from scrimmage, and the pass is hauled in by Joe Nowden, one of the new receivers for the Barnstormers. As we take a look at the Iowa offense, again, Nowden just a couple of weeks with the team. Williams and Hood represent the wide receivers along with Raheem Harvey, and up front it's Hayes, McClain, and Fay, although it looks like the Barnstormers may have made a change up front. We'll check that out in a moment, as Fay is over the ball at center, and Devin Hayes is off to his left. Back to throw, Cahoon, complete to Keon Williams. Williams for a first down to the 16-yard line of Jacksonville for Keon Williams. It is his 66th catch of the season. That leads the league. There's the Jacksonville defense. Hayden Hatcher, the linebacker, really good on the blitz. Keep an eye on him. And Dominic Jackson can be dominant up front. He's a guy who normally is the offensive center, but they've had so many injuries on the D-line that he's moved from the center position to the defensive line position, and either place he plays, he is very tough. Cahoon to the right flat, and the pass is broken up. The intended receiver, Nowden, and there was Jay Davis, the veteran from Auburn, to break up the play.
Man, yeah, Cahoon tried to hit Nowden on that crossing route, but number 1 was there for the Sharks, and he was able to get that ball lodged out of there. Hey, that's a tough catch to make, but you got to concentrate and bring it in. You know the hit's coming, so you might as well catch the ball while you're doing it.
Tyler Castaneda is the right guard tonight for the Barnstormers, replacing Terrence McCain. Play action fake, the ball tipped up into the air, and it's incomplete. Williams was the intended receiver. Good job by the defensive backfield for the Sharks to break it up.
Yeah, he got lucky that it was just a tip ball. I said we all get a little scared when we see that ball get tipped, and then you have 2 defensive backs back there. But that was a great play back there by Bennett.
Tyrese Ross, number 2, really had a chance to pick that one off, but couldn't hold on. So the Barnstormers now with a 3rd down and 10 call at the 17. They with a snap. Cahoon with a short throw to the Right side to Nowden, and Nowden gets tripped up short of the first down marker by several yards. He's brought down at the 13-yard line, so it's a 4-yard gain, and it'll bring up 4th down and 6. Now Dave Mogeson has a decision, field goal or try for a 4th down.
And with the way he was talking about earlier about the way his defense has been playing, I think he wants to try to get as many points up as possible. So he brought the kicker Rui out there, and he's a pretty dependable guy.
7 out of 15 on field goal tries this season with a long of 48. There's the snap. Keon Williams is the holder. That kick is up, and that kick is good. The field goal from 28 yards, make it 29 yards. Good by Gabe Rui, and the Barnstormers are on the board first with a 3-0 lead. That time, Dave Mogeson going for what, as you said, since Rui's awfully accurate, a pretty sure thing, and they got the 3.
Right, and you want to try to score as many points as possible against such a talented team like the Sharks. So that was a great call by Mogeson going for the points there.
And there is a 5-play, 17-yard drive, capped by the 29-yard Gabe Rui field goal. Rui, last year, the Special Teams Player of the Year in the IFL. Still way behind in the number of deuces he had a year ago, and I bet you he's thinking about that right now.
Yeah, and I always get excited when he lines up there on that kickoff, because there's no telling what he might be able to do. And he told us once before that everything that he does it on purpose. And so just watch out for what was possible for him.
Devontre Tuggle, a rookie from the University from Ohio University, is back to return the kick for the Sharks. Rui's approach, and it's going to be short and returnable. Tuggle takes it a yard deep to the 10, to the 15, and gets wrapped up from behind. The new Barnstormer defensive back, Angelo Gross, who played his college football at Michigan State, comes up with the tackle on the very first play that he makes as a Barnstormer. And so out comes Tyler Huff, a 6'1", 200-pound rookie. He went to Jacksonville State, but don't confuse that with Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville State is in Alabama, and you see his numbers. And he's compiled that on just 5 games, I should say, as he is a true rookie and really started the second half of the season for Jacksonville. But again, as Jeremy told you, a guy who likes to run the football. See what he does on first down. He wants to throw on first down. Forced out of the pocket. Now will tuck it in and run. And carries it up to the 23-yard line. Run down on the play by Joshua Ellison. Let's take a look at the starting offense for the Sharks. And we mentioned Huff at quarterback. 3 good receivers, Stoshak, Ashley, and their best one is Marcus Rogers. He is 6'4", so he is tall and he is fast. But Cam on the running back, Brown, Broadway, and Furman up front. Second and 5, Jacksonville on their opening possession. Huff fakes the pitch, runs instead, has the first down and more, gets inside the 20, and gets down to the 17-yard line of the Barnstormer before he's tackled by number 17, Ja'Cory Johns. Defensively, that's the way the Barnstormers line up, and note 2 names that are new in the lineup. Number 1, Ja'Cory Benjamin. Number 2, Angelo Gross, who made that last tackle. They have just joined the Barnstormers secondary this week, along with Caleb Street and Ja'Cory Johns. First down for Jacksonville, with the Barnstormers up early, 3-0 after the first 5 minutes of play. Huff with an empty backfield, play action fake, fires to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Shostak. Jaden Stoshak with the reception, and Jacksonville takes the lead at 6-3.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we talked about at the beginning of this game for the defensive backs being able to stop these completions. And he was wide open back there. Nice post route there by Stoshak, and great pass.
And so it's a 6-0 game in favor of Jacksonville for Shostak, his 14th touchdown catch this season. And for Huff, that was his sixth touchdown throw, making his seventh touchdown throw. He also has rushed for 15 touchdowns. The holder is the backup quarterback, Blaine Espinosa. Their kicker, Dylan Barnes. He kicks it up.
Are you stopping it? Can you print it? Maybe, did they allow that? How close are you to having the website? Well, basically. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could probably print them, but I don't know officially. I don't, I mean, yes, I would say yes. But I don't know what your teacher will say. I mean, use your judgment. I'd say if you think so, then yes. So I dropped your medicine there.
Oh, that hurt? Yes. No, that's not. I felt like you could see the sun. You could see it there from now. No, yeah. This can't be all in one night. Did you just never do your homework? Wow. Let's just bring it. See? 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 So there's 12 cream on it and it's a lot of option. What?
Do you think I can just bring the notes into the book?
What? Yeah. For the first time, you can't read my heart. No, you haven't. I'm gonna take this because I got it for Kaden. Was it good? Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna put it on his face.
Okay, yeah.
What? In a minute. Yeah, Ben. Ben, mom says it. Yeah, she went straight. She's like, I'll just put it like an hour video game. What you do your homework. And his mom bought her and so he goes to that. I'm so bad. That looks really good. I'll get or cut it so it's not long. Thank you. Good. Yeah. I've been doing homework all day. I don't have that much homework.
Are you sure? I've been doing homework all day. Since 3:15. Something like 9 a.m.
let's take a pause. You probably got a good 30 minutes. So take a 10-minute break. Go get some ice cream, go get your dad. And then from 9 to 9:30, finish up what you can. And then show it tomorrow. Be right. So you can do it. Are you okay filming the show? The other thing is, you have a photo. I mean, isolate. Take the notes you have, take a 10-minute break, and then come back and read your own thing. Thanks so much. Taking care of your skin is like brushing your teeth and like deodorant, okay? So like, I feel like it's part of hygiene. So it's kind of like you were like, I'm like brush your teeth, and you're like, don't do it. It's kind of like taking care of your skin and your teeth, deodorant, and your clothes, washing your bottom, like it's all part of like being a human.
Saying that now would be funny. I can imagine it in my head. Sean, let's go. Who are you? The name's Safety. The name's Safety guy.
Yeah.
stink race and